and sharing with us how to connect with anyone from the fundamentals of public speaking in daily life. And so we speak like a pro. Let's welcome Cheryl Roush.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to this very first launch session of your Speechcraft program. In the chat box is loaded the handout, so please feel free to click on that. There is a very valuable worksheet that you will be using. As I love this program, and as Jesse, my colleague, will also share with you that we both joined Toastmasters decades ago during a Speechcraft program. So as you are downloading that handout, then I will share with you that yes, I also joined Toastmasters International on a Speechcraft program 38 years ago. So I know that before you just now heard that from me, that you thought Jesse was in a long time. Yes, he is. We are both very committed, very active Toastmasters. And it's our privilege to help you launch your Speechcraft series because we firmly believe in it. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Throughout this highly tailored and fast-paced presentation, you will see actual photos from Vietnam. What a beautiful country, beautiful culture, absolutely just beautiful. So celebrate who you are. And as you bring that cultural diversity and brilliance into Toastmasters International and to EVO, we welcome you. Our founder of Toastmasters International, way back in the 1900s, it was 1924 that the organization was founded. He said that through better communication, we can help to create better understanding. And understanding is what this world needs. So as we go into this session about how you can utilize communication and public speaking in your daily life, I am going to share some of those top tips that, yes, I taught Olympians after they received their medals. I worked with 30 US Olympic medalists, by the way, and started their Speakers Bureau. You get that information in this session. So are you connecting with 100% of your listeners? Let's break it down. I believe that we need to meet people where they are and to speak on their channels. And there are 7 different channels. So we'll take a look at this, and you can use these techniques and those that you learn during this Speechcraft program for your next promotion. Many of you, as young professionals, that you are working with other Vietnam companies or multinational, including in Asia, Australia, Thailand, and India. And it's beautiful, everything that you are doing. Let's take this to the next level for you. And I appreciate that in the warm-up and our greeting that you were saying how much you wanted to have greater confidence when speaking in English. I will be speaking in English for you today, but thank you, Conan, for providing translations of key points for you. So thank you very much for that. Here are those listening channels that every group, every audience, every team has. As you learn what these 7 are, think about which ones of these are probably your own preferred channels, because that's how we communicate with other people. Yet, if we do not communicate on someone else's channel, there is a disconnect. Have you ever had that happen? Perhaps with your own Valentine, your sweetheart, that maybe you just don't connect sometimes. This is what happens. Yet, do you have a dear friend that you have been friends forever because you are connecting? This may explain some of that public speaking on a very daily basis. Let's take a closer look. And these are on the worksheet in the handout. So group number 1 is linguistic. This is called an overview, and then we will go deeper on each of these 7 over the next few minutes. So group number 1 of the 7 is linguistic. Number 2, mathematical. Number 3, visual. Number 4, musical. Number 5, kinesthetic. Number 6, interpersonal. And group number 7, intrapersonal. I will explain more. These are the 7 channels. Every group has these 7 different listening channels in it. So our purpose, our focus, our objective is to make sure to address each of these 7. Let's have some fun with this. So on this worksheet that I have provided, and this has taken 30 years of my life and expertise to create, you are welcome and encouraged to use this worksheet, print out as many as you need to prepare your presentations. In the second educational session today, you will hear on what speech topics to select. From that, use this worksheet to ensure that you connect with each of those 7 listeners. How you would use this is in the very first column. Each of these 7 modalities has individual needs and their listener preferences. I would use like a yellow highlighter, and I would highlight what ideas that I have to begin with for that particular presentation. This relates regardless how long or how brief of a presentation, by the way. Then write down in the right-hand column, what are your specific ideas? You have permission to use this to prepare for your presentations, but it is my copyrighted original material. Do not use my handout in your presentations. Thank you. Let's take a closer look then. So for linguistic, if you are linguistic, you appreciate stories, discussions. You appreciated that our greeter did a great job of getting to know each of us before the session started. You may love metaphors and acrostics. You probably also, and I'm guessing, raise your hand, you speak more than 2 languages. So English as well as Vietnamese. I'm guessing you speak more languages than that. I know as a linguistic, when I open in other countries, I may open in their native language. Your gift in communication are the word choices, and you appreciate semantics. If something is misspelled, you are also very clever to know that there is a typographical mistake in it. Linguistics love to have more text, more information to read. You probably would have read everything in the social media poster advertising for this SpeechCraft program. Linguistics, we also appreciate good quotations, including this one from Dr. Stephen Covey that relates to this presentation today. To seek first to understand, then to be understood, from his book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. You also appreciate reading magazines. This happens to be from when you become a member of Toastmasters, from our Toastmaster magazine. That's linguistic, group number 1. Group number 2 now, you appreciate math. Notice that now these are not bullet points, these are numbered points. You would use this in one of your presentations to connect with the mathematical listeners in your group, even if this is not your preferred or most comfortable channel. It's not for me. I need to make sure to include numbers in every presentation that I give, because even though it's not my language, it might be yours. Everything about this is how to connect authentically with other people. So mathematical, they need the numbers and the facts. Group number 3, we need to see it. Groups number 1 and 2 will appreciate information even in black and white. Group number 3, though, we need to see it. So here you have, there's my logo, here we have sparkle, here we have my cute little Valentine's friend here. Visual people, we need to see it in color, if at all possible. As you heard in my introduction, some of the clients that I've had the privilege of working with, then instead of linguistic, a list of them, we would show images. And again, beautiful colors, the fruits and the vegetables that Vietnam is so known for around the globe. Beautiful. We need to see it. So as things start coming together, now on this graphic, We have combined the first two. We have linguistic as well as visual in this particular graphic. If there were more numbers in them, maybe if we put 6 sessions include and numbered these, then this graphic would have included all 3. Do what you can to use more of the images, more of the channels in everything that you do. Group number 4, if you sing, this might be something to bring into your presentations. If not, most of us use our vocal variety, which Speechcraft will show you and give you practice to do. It's the cadence with which we speak. Do we speak loud? Do we speak softly? Is there pacing and pausing for emphasis? This group needs that type of cadence. Storytelling is going to be amazing to help you with this one. So group number 4 is musical. Group number 5, high five. You are the kinesthetic. So notice the tick marks going down this particular list. The handout is great for people who are kinesthetic and need some action, need some movement. Find ways to bring that into your presentations as well. You are doing that during Speechcraft with meeting with your guides and in your conversations and any meetups that you have as well. Group number 6, you are the people. You are the ones who arrive early. You're very participatory. You love it. You'll probably arrive early and depart late because you are people. That's part of your gift. So let's say that you are a column 1, linguistic, you like the words and the brainstorming, and a column 6, where more people, you will come to life in discussions, one-on-one or in groups. This is where you shine. So now you see how the channels can be more combined to have more authentic and inclusive communication. Again, one-on-one or in groups. You will have 6 different educational presenters, each of us with our own styles. And Fercy is known for his storytelling skills. Attend every single session in your Speechcraft series. And rounding it out, group number 7 are intrapersonal. When we are this group, we become very introspective. This is great for us to process. How did we do with our speech? What could we do even more effectively? We are the thinkers. We need the time in quiet to have that thinking space. And how we balance this between being interpersonal for Toastmasters, and this may surprise you, I am actually an introvert, but being a speaker with a mission to make a positive difference in the world, it pushes me out. So I need to find my balance, that interpersonal with Toastmasters, and then before and after my presentation, I will become intrapersonal or very introspective to see how I can improve for my next service through speaking as well. You may enjoy introspective activities like riding your bicycle or in a kayak or canoe. Beautiful. We often do these to balance our spirit, and we need to have that. So to summarize again, that these are the 7 listening channels. We want to include each of these in anything that we do. Meet people where they are and on their levels. There is more than only one level to who we are and how we communicate. So here's our tip as we bring this together and get ready for questions. One-on-one, we need to communicate on their channels, even if it is not our preferred channels, like mine is not math, but you have seen many samples here of mathematical, because it's important to reach people where they are. And in teams and groups and presentations that you give, incorporate each of the 7 channels, regardless of how long or how brief that your presentation may be. This applies across the board. So as you bring this into your life, And in this Speechcraft program, where it is a safe place to practice, dare to speak and dare to grow. With that, I return control to you, Mr. Toastmaster. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. I'd love to meet you in person. Back to you.
Thank you very much. And 1 second, I can drop in Cheryl's website link and that you can check out as well.
Oh, thank you for the hearts. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. And now we go to into Q&A session. I have three questions for you, Cheryl. The first question: what mindset or visualization exercises work best for reducing public speaking anxiety over time? By Maria.
I love that. Thank you. So I just happen to have this on my desk. So the very first thing, okay, so the questions were about visualization and meditation. I'm going to add to what Jessie Oakley is going to be sharing. It after you start, well, or before, I use a mind map. I use a mind map to get ideas out of my head. So how I'll locate that and I'll put it into the chat in just a little bit. What we do is we put there we go. We put whatever the word is going to be in the middle of the circle, and then we start going into around in a circle. There we go. There we go. So now you can see it. See my palm tree? There you go. All right. So then you put whatever the topic is going to be in the middle of the circle and start about the 1300, the 100, the 1 o'clock position, and turn your piece of paper around as you keep writing something onto here. This gets, it's very right brain, it gets those ideas out of our head and onto a paper so then we can put them into the worksheet. As I start developing content, I take it very seriously. I don't know if there were probably 30 hours that went into this less than 30-minute session for you. During the preparation is my visualization and practice. And how I do that is I imagine that instead of being the speaker, I am the listener. So I thought if I were you, what would I need? Maybe English as a second language, that each of you have been born in Vietnam. I have not yet had the privilege of visiting your country, but I have friends who are there now and living it, seeing it through their eyes. I thought as a young professional, what would I want to know? With my experience, I wish that I had learned this information when I was your age and when I was in your stage of being a young professional. So I imagine, and my visualization is that I imagine being you and what would be important to you, keeping everything relevant. Those are a couple of tips I can share with you that the visualization comes from. And when I first started doing visualization, I would actually sit in a meditative state, nothing around me, no music. I would just be very calm and have something next to me where I could write ideas, thinking what is important. I think the art of communication and definitely speaking is to be very concise and succinct. What are the most important points to be shared? Then coming out of the visualization, using this worksheet, it's a mind map created, it's a basic one from Tony Buzan, Buzan, that getting it out of our right brain before we start writing a speech is to start with the mind map, then go to the worksheet, then start crafting if you are going to be using slides. And again, make everything relevant. If it doesn't relate, don't be sharing it. We have a tendency to add too much words or too much detail into a story, and instead help your listeners stay focused with that. That was brilliant. Very loaded question. Thank you. It was brilliant. Thank you.
That's so wonderful. Yeah. Even though I given so many speeches and completed two pathways, I still learn from these speech preparing for speech tips
Yes.
from you.
Well,
Next question.
Conan, I have a question for you. Since you and I have
Oh,
worked together on this, and since you have attended many of my sessions, what have you noticed in how I prepared for this session for your group that you could share?
oh yeah, it's wonderful because working with a professional speaker like Cheryl is have been an honor, and I've learned a lot from the presentation. So before she give any presentation, I see the tendency that she put the program and all the events in one Google Doc or like a document um work document, and then she laid out all of the information there, and her introduction, she put everything in there, the websites and everything. And when it's time for me to start preparing for for her speech, I just look at the document she sent me and all the materials she sent, and she asked a lot of questions about the audience and and about the session. And I feel like she prepared a lot, and she has really put her heart into everything that she does. Even in this speech, educational speech, she has put a lot of effort, a lot of heart, and the having a handout like this one really helps, because most of the time when I have hear a speech, I will forget it. But with this handout, there's a summary and a translation in Vietnamese. It helps me even better to retain this information from this presentation years afterwards. I learned about these seven listening channels. So that's a really honor for working with Cheryl to have together this educational speech.
Thank you.
Yes. And next question. I think we have only two questions now. The third question is mine, and I think it's quite relevant. What strategies do you suggest for coping with mistakes or forgetting my lines during the speech? This is also
Oh
from
my,
Marian.
oh my goodness. Thank you so very much. First of all, you will forget something. Surrender to it. It is going to happen. It just does. When I first started speaking, I would write word for word. Then I would memorize word for word, which didn't work for me because then I would forget more. Instead, practice your opening, practice your closing, and have three main points that you know you want to cover within that time. I think I'm giving Jesse some notes here to share with you in his session. If you're going to memorize something, really memorize the opening. And I like to use grabber questions, as you saw in this introduction today, and then know how you are going to close it. And I close with what is the theme of your Speechcraft series. So again, more of the tailoring on that. Then allow yourself to flow. Know what your content is going to be and allow yourself to flow. Will you make mistakes? Yes. Be okay with it, move on. And this is tough. Do not apologize for the mistake. No one else knows we made a mistake. They do not know. Instead, pick up the beat, keep going. And later, after your speech, then think about to yourself and your visualization and your meditation and how could you improve for the next time. Be gentle with yourself. Be gentle and allow, I call it the magic of the moment to happen, so that the speech you give, and let's call it a message, the message that you share will be better than what you had planned anyway. So get out of the way of the beautiful message that it can be, and it will be next level for you. So dare to speak, dare to grow, enjoy the Speechcraft series. And again, Conan, thank you very much for your gracious invitation to be here to serve. And I celebrate you, Speechcrafters. Yay! The very first one ever for Vietnam. Well done, well done, well done.